tone for us. You know, this is a matter now that is in court. He's been arraigned, but nonetheless, as revelations come in and the University of Nairobi even denies that he was ever there as a student, it is baffling that this is somebody who put people under and was able to cut them open, all under the eye of an institution that should really have been watchful and should have known that such a thing was going on. What are your own thoughts about this latest story?
Just like everybody's opinion that being a quack is not a preserve of the medical profession. It is not. We have quack journalists. In fact, we used to have one who was called Dr. somebody who was a lecturer.
Please don't say their name. I don't want to be on a Wednesday morning.
Even if he was even an MP. And he claimed to be a journalist. And a lecturer at the School of Journalism many years ago. And we have police quacks. We know the very famous one who is now serving term. So being a quack is not something new. Even in Kenya, there are quacks all over. In fact, I was reading newspapers yesterday about a fellow who was a trainer in hockey, and he was illiterate, and he fooled around up to last day. So this is not strange at all.
But not all quacks have life or death consequences attached to what they do.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing. But we hope that he didn't operate on somebody who died.
That is even a statement that I can't.
And although you say not all quacks have life or death attached to whatever they do, think of a quack policeman with a loaded gun. That person has life and death attached to them. Think of a quack teacher transforming a fake knowledge to students who are later on going to determine the fate of the world. That's clearly somebody who has life and death in his hands. What happens is, in this particular case, which we may not make a lot of reference to because it's a case in court, is that somebody was entrusted directly with the lives of... What we are not being told is how many people who may have died in his hands. It's quite an unfortunate situation, but it happens with us.
But I think what Yumbia should tell us that he's here. How did he enter the system? That's the question. How did that man enter the system?
And do we really have systems to guard against such things?
Yumbia, the flow is just, how did he get into the system to begin with?
And thank you so much for this opportunity. I think, as Mutegi puts it, quacks exist in all sectors. What should be our main focus is what structures have been put in place to ensure that quacks in my area, quacks in the medical profession are dealt with appropriately. I must say that...
so let's start with, how did he get into the system?
No, let's not go there. Let's begin with what systems are in place. Because for him to get in...
Fair enough, but we will go there later. So what systems are in place?
The systems that are in place are that for somebody to get into our register, it is very difficult. This guy has not gotten into my register. So my systems are in place. Cap 253 laws of Kenya gives me power, or the board power, to register and regulate medical and dental practitioners. This gentleman was in the process of getting to my system. So he has not got into my system. He doesn't appear in the doctor's register, and he could not enter because of the system that we have put in place. What appears to have transpired here is that this is not the first case of people attempting to get registered. We get them all the time, and we pass them at various stages. This one went a step further, because as a board we get doctors posted to do 1-year internship training program by the Ministry of Health upon completion of their MPCHB programs from accredited medical schools in the country. In this case, we have the University of Nairobi, we have Moi University, we have Kenyatta University, we have Egerton University. These are the 4 universities that are producing medical doctors. We have Moi Dental School and the University of Nairobi Dental School. We have 6 that are producing currently. The rest are at various stages. Are like Mount Kenya University is in 3rd year, KEMU is in 4th year, and Maseno is in 5th year. So they are still coming.
So they should have done an internship.
But yeah, if you gave me that to explain, you still also be on the same page with me. If it's candid, you need to get it. That if a student has qualified from the 4 that are existing, they do not sit pre-internship examination. So all that we require as a board is a posting order from the Ministry of Health. And we get a job offer, because internship is a paid up post. Those are the 2 requirements that I require to get from a locally trained medical or dental practitioner who should proceed for internship. This gentleman managed to get those 2.
How do you suppose that happened?
That calls for a break.
Yeah, how did you get it?
How do you suppose that happened?
What I suppose happened is that there is forgery. So probably, and the police are working on it, is that this gentleman presented a forged letter of completion from the university. I suppose, because it has happened in the past and we have nipped it at the bud. It is possible that is what happened. Now, and if you'd allow me, just give that background. It's important. If this gentleman trained from outside, because we have 2 categories, and that's what I wanted you to understand. The first category is a locally trained medical and dental practitioner. The second category is that of a foreign trained medical and dental practitioner. Those ones have more stringent processes to get into the system. Because as a board now, foreign trained doctors must sit pre-internship examination, which this gentleman was not subjected to, because the law allows him to go for internship directly. This is key.
From a university.
Hey, that's what I wanted you to understand, the Kenyans to know. So for us, if this guy trained in Russia, he would come to the office of the board and we will send him for 6 months attachment, for usually attachment before the exam, and the regulation is here, I've come with it. He must go to Kenyatta, to Moi, to go to any teaching hospital where he's going to be attached. He is not allowed to handle patients. He's supposed to rotate with consultants to see what happens, to learn what happens. Then after that, he now applies for our examination. This exam for internship qualifying for foreign trained doctors is done in 2 phases. There is MCQ, which is 100 questions, multiple choice, they answer. Then there is part 2, which is clinicals, short cases and long cases. And they are taken by the consultants to see patients. A patient is prepared, and all the students pass through there, and you diagnose and you say what you, without of course operating on the patient, but saying this is what I would do. This is one process that is done for foreign trained. Now, with the issue of local doctors sneaking in, or a possibility of another male coming in, the board is now looking at a possibility of even the locally trained doctors to go through the same process that foreign trained doctors undergo.
But prior to that, what measures are in place with the board? And it may not even be your preserve, but basically to just check on who is actually practicing in hospitals prior to this new measures that you're hoping to take.
So what you have put in place, I've said, once these documents are brought to us and the doctor is sent for internship, the board has appointed internship coordinators into every internship center. For example, the case went to Kedube. Kedube is a newly, I think he took advantage of going to a newly established internship training center. This is a center which that group was the first group. They have not yet graduated anybody. So this gentleman found himself there, and that is where we are investigating how he was posted for the internship. And then the gentleman also forged documents indicating that he has completed internship.
I suppose what I'm asking is, are there regular spot checks in facilities by the board?
The first check is by the intern coordinator who is on the ground. The second one is by the 4 consultants, because in every internship training center there are 4 senior consultants, one in surgery, obs and gyn, internal medicine, and pediatrics. They must, each consultant must sign off the intern upon completion. That is what is there. Then the board makes regular checks to internship training centers, and when we go to check, we may not subject these interns to theater processes. We get reports from the consultants that have been given the responsibility. So the responsibility of training an intern squarely falls under the intern coordinator, the medical superintendent, and the consultant, that is the one who will sign off that particular intern. In this case, this young man could not pass through the consultants. Are
you confessing that there are many more of similar cases out there handling innocent lives of Kenyan patients every day?
Oh no. What I'm trying to show you, somebody sneaked, found their way to the internship training center. The consultants rejected him. I have a letter which the consultant did to him. I told him, we cannot sign you off in any of the rotations because you are incompetent. So the consultants nipped, they got the process. He got himself posted to an internship training center. He failed to meet the standards. So the consultants did fail because they discovered he was inadequate.
My question is, are you confessing that there are many others who may have been nipped but they found their ways?
Or could there be another one?
No, let me tell you. Don't say I don't want to say there cannot be another one. But I can tell you that you can sneak your way to get posting to an internship training center. You can't go through it.
But you can manage to do surgery?
Now, that is the other question that we are investigating, because this gentleman has been economical with the truth, and I am still waiting to get the statement that he has given to the police, because for him to have interacted with the medics and other medical personnel for a period of 6 months, because his internship did not last more than 6 months. He couldn't finish. He was kind of discontinued, or he was unable to proceed because he was told you have to come and repeat, and he took off. And the process is that once you interact with health professionals and you still have some little knowledge, it is upon the investigating officers to find out what basics does this gentleman have. I'll give an historical setup perspective, that I have about 5 or so cases that I've interacted with. They have not gone to the level this gentleman has gone. These are cases I've arrested at the employment level, and I just want to thank some hospitals for cooperating with the board, because since we put the doctors register on their website, institutions consult us when they get suspicious characters applying for positions. And I'll give an example of Nairobi Hospital. A gentleman went there. He applied for the post of a pediatrician. He submitted 2 degrees. One was forged from the University of Nairobi, and the other one from a certain university in Israel. And the CEO suspected these documents. He called and said, we have this verified for us. It doesn't appear in your register. So we set up a trap, and we arrested the gentleman. In fact, I was in Thika on an assignment, and we called the University of Nairobi, said they sent an exam, a written exam. The gentleman was given 100 questions to answer so that we could create time to be at the venue, and we nipped him. When we got him to court, it came out that this gentleman had gone to a certain university overseas, and he had done medicine first, second, and third year, and he was discontinued, and therefore he now came back, and that is what he forged. That is one case that fraud. I have another case which was concluded in Mombasa last year. It took us about 4 years. This gentleman forged documents. He was a medical student in Russia. He was discontinued. He came back and he forged documents of Moi University. And with the case, I was called in when he attempted to present his papers in a certain hospital, Jocham Hospital for that matter. And we went and arrested him.
So if I was to return you to my question, basically what I hear you saying is that for either A, he's lying that we actually managed to perform surgery, or something went terribly wrong in his interaction with other medics that he actually ended up with a scalpel in his hand? He should have been caught before then.
What I'm trying to say is that you can sneak. He sneaked, and let's agree. He sneaked. He got himself posted as an intern. Internship program starts with internal medicine. Internal medicine is the easiest part of the rotation, because that is examination and making prescriptions. But when you move to surgery, where the records I have with me indicate that he did do surgery, so he has not done.
He did not do.
Yes,
according to your
records I have. Yes, the records I have from Kidube indicate that he did do surgery. The records I have indicate that he did do obs and gyne. We still have a team which is going down there to establish what he actually did, and we are also waiting to see whether we're going to get a report from the consultants who may indicate to us at what point they became suspicious, because immediately the consultants became hard on the gentleman, he took off.
But is it possible, sorry, I beg your pardon, Mutegi, but is it then not possible with the time lapse since Monday that these are records that could be destroyed?
One, the records would not be destroyed for two reasons. The gentleman has no access to institution. Anybody who has the records, he's going to be a witness. He's not a criminal. So anybody with information that this gentleman attended to a patient, it is not that it is Han Kiguta who attended to the patient. It is Daniel. So the evidence we want to find out is at what level of interaction did you allow, or was this gentleman exposed to patients?
Is the institution culpable in any way?
So far, the institution has given us very important information, and I don't want to speculate at this point whether we are holding anything bad against the institution, which has been giving us all the information. If the institution would have cleared this gentleman to come to my office for registration, then I would be holding them responsible. But they have given me all the information that indicate that this gentleman never met the internship training program requirements, and therefore the institution and the consultants and the institution did well even to tell the fellow, you cannot be cleared because you have not done 1, 2, 3, 4.
According to the report in the press, the institution why is called Mitete. Are we talking about the same? You're talking about
Mitete Sub-County Hospital in Nandi.
In Nandi.
No, you know, Kiguta cut me short when I was bringing my thread to the end. This gentleman finds himself posted to Kidube for internship.
Yes.
The records I have in my office do not indicate Mitete anywhere. What he is doing in Mitete is being investigated. I don't know. The records that I was informed by the Minister of Health, according to their records, the Minister of Health posted him to Omabe. The process of internship is that once you intern in a particular county, you are also posted in the same county. What the board has done has opened more internship training centers in various counties so that counties can build capacity. Therefore, once an intern has qualified from a particular county, he gets posted in the same county. But this gentleman has been posted to Omabe County because supposedly he was supposed to have done internship
in Kindu.
But whoever is posting him to that place has done a mistake, because this gentleman cannot be posted in the next level of a medical officer unless it's registered by board.
But
that is a requirement. It's okay, Mutegi. So that's why I'm saying the matter is under investigation. Who posted him to Homa Bay? That is one issue. Second issue is who posted him to Nandi is another issue.
The third issue is who appointed him the acting medical superintendent.
The governmental agency cannot post somebody who purports to have completed internship without getting a letter of completion from the medical board. And we don't give a letter, we give permanent registration certificate. That's what the gentleman was trying to do. And for the last 3 months, we've been looking for this gentleman.
But you
let me tell you, Mutegi, when he posted his documents, they were brought by a courier to our office, purported completion of internship training. I got wind. This is something we have been investigating. By the way, and I don't delegate when it comes to this, because information can leak even to the person directly. So it has taken, we were 3, the chairman of the board, myself, and my senior registration manager, nobody else.
And in terms of Afia House, if you like, who is in charge of postings? What level of officer?
The person in charge of posting of interns is the director of medical services, but he may delegate to other officers, including the human resource department. What the police are now doing, and I don't want to assist them in what they are doing. We are getting. You
don't want to assist the police?
I don't want to assist the police there, because I don't want to leave them to anybody. What we want to know is, for you to be given a posting order, you must present certain documents. Just like in my board, for you to be given registration, that's why we need this thing. There's a standard operating procedure. We require. My requirements are on the same form on the website. If you go to our website, you get the form for permanent registration. The requirements are there. These are the requirements this gentleman was told to fulfill. And he said, I have a few challenges here. Then he was told, why don't you come and explain? That's why he was pushed to come to the office to explain, and then he found himself there.
So when he was coming to your office, he was coming from Hamambi. But what we're reading in the press, this gentleman was not in Hamambi.
No.
He was in Metete, and he was in Nande, and he was operating. In fact, people were being quoted. One of them is a doctor who says when he saw him handling the scalpel, he could not understand. The chemist next door, when they appeared there, he said this guy could not even know basic things about medicine. So you are operating in Hamambi and you are operating in Metete. So we are on 2 different levels.
What happens with forgery and thuggery and whatever crime one wants to commit? They give information at different levels depending on what they want to achieve. There is no single quack who can come to the medical board and declare that I'm already a medical officer, while he knows for sure he has not been registered by the same board. According to the medical board, he was just pushing that area of registration. He was not bothered about telling us where he is. Even the application form is he was putting where he was doing his internship. That is the information that he was trying to give, so that we can assist him to get registered. Had we registered this gentleman, he would have gotten probably out of clinical service.
But you are not explaining to us, how did he end up at Metete? That's what I'm saying. How did he end up there operating people? And you are saying he didn't operate, people who were there.
No.
He did operate.
He doubts that he operated.
Mutegi, I didn't say that. What I said was that the information that I have with my board, this guy had not declared his position at Metete. This is
he only left it at Kendu.
This is the part of the information that we gathered later on arresting him, that this is where he was. And there is even information that he was employed by intergovernmental agency, which posted him to Metete after being posted to Homa Bay. I don't even have the copy for posting at Homa Bay. And I'm saying the police are now working on, from Afia House, they are moving from Afia House to Metete, to Homa Bay, to intergovernmental agency, to the medical board, so that they can get all this evidence, and then evidence will come.
So your board as a regulatory authority, and in your own confession, thinly though, is that there may be other people like him out there. Has your board failed in its mandate as a regulatory authority?
Let me say that as a board, we have put systems in place that have discouraged the would-be quacks like this one. Once you get a quack like this one, the question would be, who discovered him? It is not you, it is me. So it's my own initiative. Who arrested him? It is me. It is my own system. I have a system in place. And some of the board members, I don't want to name them here, because some 2 board members were keen on this case. In fact, they raised it to me 4 months ago. And they told me, let us go do this. And as I told you, investigations of this nature are tricky. There is the gentleman that we arrested in Meru, in Chuka, and he was given bonds. He had forged documents, and he was
in Chuka Hospital.
He was in St. Anton's Mission Hospital, Catholic Hospital, where he had worked as a clinical officer. He forged document to be employed as a doctor, and even the clinical officer had been forged. The nursing council had been forged, and this guy was given cash bail, and he disappeared. So for me, I don't give information